I apologize for the lighting of the video. Due to schedule and weather, this was the day I had to record.
Well, hello everybody, this is the Bat Hound, sniffing out the best ASA softball bats there are. Today I'm here to bring you week 8 of the Best Bat Myth or Magic Challenge. Week 8 means we are entering into the second half of the season. So before we actually get into the week, let me give you the cumulative stats as they stand with a couple comments.
Well, as you can see, the Eastern Ghost is just not performing. But because I'm in the middle of the challenge, I'm going to let it see it through. But I would gladly trade that bat or sell it at this point. Now, granted, that is from my experience and from my swing. Also worth noting is that the Monster Fallout is performing better than it appears on the spreadsheet. It missed the first 2 weeks because it hadn't arrived, and then the third week it clearly was not broken in yet. So if you took out the first 3 weeks of the challenge, it would currently be in second place after the Demarini Insane. But overall, I'm generally pleased with the rest of the bats. I think the Demarini Insane, for my swing, so far has really stood out above the rest of them. 5 weeks it has had the long ball, the longest home run, and 2 of the weeks it has won with the most home runs. The only other bat to have 2 weeks of that is the Monster DNA. But overall, I think all of these have been great bats. Now we're only halfway through the challenge. A lot can happen in the second half, so I'm looking forward to the next 7 weeks. I think it's still too early to predict whether or not there will be a bat that surfaces as the best bat, or if we'll find out it is a little bit more of a myth and that all of these bats will do quite well for at least a swing like mine. Alright, well, let's get into week 7.
Alright, now as we enter into week 8, I'm excited to see what happens with the bats. Let me give you the rundown for today. We got the fence at 311. Fence or wind blowing out slightly at times and quite still at other times, but beautiful day to be hitting. 86 degrees, 56% humidity. We'll be using 52 300 balls. Only way to score is to get a home run. There's some nice wind for me blowing out. Let me give you the lineup for today. Leading off is going to be the Eastern Ghost, then the Demarini Insane, which has had the long ball for 5 weeks, then the Mike and Freak Platinum PT Balanced, and then we'll have the Monster OG DNA, followed by the Anarchy American, and the Demarini Juggy OVL. Then it will be the Monster Fallout 3500 Flex. And then our special guest today is the Worth EST XL. Now, my goal now for the rest of the challenge is to have a guest bat, and the guest will be able to stick around if it wins. So if the EST can win this week, it will be back next week. Otherwise, it will have to move on. But I really enjoyed swinging this bat when I got it out recently for a bat review. I said on there, one of the most fun bats I have ever swung. Be sure to check out that video if you want to hear why. But let me give you some swings from the Eastern Ghost, and we'll see how it gets started for the day.
Alright, the Eastern Ghost. This is Easton's new double barrel technology. It's a 2-piece bat with a 13.5-inch barrel with balanced weight distribution. It's to be used with only 52 300 balls, and make sure it's over 60 degrees. Now, there's mixed reviews on its durability, but I've experienced, as long as you're staying within the parameters, so far I've seen no problems. Now, it's a great looking bat. In fact, it was ranked number 1 of all the bats here in my house. I like how it feels in the hands. Comes with some nice grip on it that's held up real well so far. And I would say it definitely has a balanced feel. In terms of sound, I've got to give it an A+. It's loud and has a unique sound to it like no other bat I've heard.
Off the wall.
But in the category of pop, I find it to be quite lacking for me. And it is continuing to lag behind the rest of the bats in the challenge. But that said, if you were a placement hitter, this could be a great bat for you. I feel like you can really control the ball with this. You can pick up a new one for over $200 or a used one for between $150 and $199.
All right, well, the Eastern Ghost is 0 for 7. Got a nice 10-foot wall out there. 3 of them were off the wall. We'll give it 13 more swings, see what it can come up with. The rest of the bat gets 20. and we'll be back with the results. All right, well, the results are in, and I tell you what, a wonderful day to hit. I love hitting in this type of heat where you're just soaked at the end of it. I also like to see how the bats perform. After the last video when the humidity was higher, there was some discussion on whether or not it was the humidity or the heat or what's going on with why the balls don't fly as far. I guess scientifically, the ball should fly farther in the humidity, but practically speaking, some people say that's not the experience and it doesn't matter what science says. I don't know what it is, but it just does seem like sometimes the ball just does not want to fly through the wind, or maybe it's the metal on the bat. I'm not sure. More discussion needs to be had, I'm sure, but for whatever reason, sometimes it doesn't work out. But fun to see how it is in the different types of weather. Here's the results for today. Coming in last place with a 0 is the Easton Ghost. Second to last is the Monster OG DNA. See, I don't know how to make sense of some of this because this has historically been doing really well and it just couldn't get out of the gates today. Right behind it, or in front of it, is the Monster Fallout with 6. Then we have the Mike and Freak Platinum PT Balanced with 7. Then the Anarchy American with 8. Tied with the Demarini Insane, also with 8. And once again, the Demarini Insane had the long ball. Really close behind, the DNA had 1 that was close, but I'd give it to the Insane. And then we had a tie for first with 10 with the Demarini Juggy, which has been a little bit silent lately. Again, I don't know why it just swung great today. Going with 10, and then the Worth EST XL with 10. So we got to do a playoff real quick. Last one standing with a home run wins.
All right, batting first is going to be the Demarini Juggy. That is not going to get the job done.
Nope.
We go to the Worth EST. Nope, not going to make it.
One hopper.
All right, the Juggy again. Here we go. Ooh, that's got a shot.
No,
Not today.
Denied off the wall.
Worth EST for the win. Oh, I think that one got it.
Yep.
There it is.
All right, the winner this week is the guest bat with the Worth EST XL coming out with the victory. So it will stick around for one more week. See if it can hold on to the title. This is the Bat Hound, everybody. Sounding off. Be sure to subscribe to the channel here. Check out some other videos here. Thanks, everybody.